In the previous videos showing how to use PowerPoint for Escher designs, we looked at translation and rotation around a vertex. In this one, I'm going to do rotation around a vertex again, following the previous method, but I'm going to create a triangle myself so that it's perfectly equilateral. And for some reason, when I've tried to use the auto scale function in PowerPoint in the past for triangles, it hasn't worked properly. So maybe they've improved it. But anyway, you could also use this method if you wanted to create something like a rhombus with perfect 60-degree and 120-degree angles. So I'll just create a horizontal line, and then I'm going to copy and paste this, manually entering in the degree of rotation, and then move them into place. Once again, I'll create my vertex labels as I go, and I'll copy and paste this, alter a line, and then rotate it 60 degrees so that it's as if we're rotating around A 60 degrees. So far, all of those steps have been the same as for rotation around a vertex. And it's at this point that we'll actually start demonstrating how to apply the rotation around a midpoint method. Now first, we need to find the midpoint of this unaltered side. If we click on it and click on shape format, we can see its properties. And these are also here. So what I might do now is copy and paste and then shorten this line just so I can measure off the midway point. And I can put a halfway marker there as well as a label for that midpoint. And now I'll draw my replacement alteration along half the line. I'll do it starting from this vertex to the midpoint. So then afterwards, I can delete the original line and I'll just be left with my half line segment and the altered line. And now once I copy this across, I can copy and paste this alteration and I'll rotate it 180 degrees. And now it needs to sit on the other side because it's rotated around that midpoint. It can be a bit tricky here to line up the alterations. We need to make sure that they meet up properly and then we don't mess up the position of any of the other vertices. After we've done our outline and shape coloring, we then have a shape that should be able to rotate around vertex A. These will be 60-degree rotations, but then it also should be able to rotate around the midpoint of BC, and those will be 180-degree rotations. Now we can also use this Escher method of altering a single side using midpoint rotation on other shapes. And on something like a square, we could even apply different midpoint rotations to all four sides. So following any of these methods, as long as we've used the right techniques with shapes that tessellate in the first place, we'll always be able to come up with new designs. Getting our designs to look like something that we're happy with is obviously a lot more difficult. But remember, for your assignment, the emphasis is on being able to demonstrate your understanding of the Escher techniques and how and why they work, using the appropriate vocabulary, describing your steps accurately. You don't have to use PowerPoint, you can do it by hand if you prefer, or other software if you're good at using other software, as long as you can show the steps properly, similarly to how we've done here. When giving your instructions, make sure that they relate to the Escher method and not the particular software that you're using. So describing the rotations around a vertex, etc., not saying copy and paste, move it into place, and the kinds of instructions that I've given here. So good luck, and I hope that you can create something that you're really happy with.